All right, we're live with the doc. Dr. Ric, welcome back, mate.
Mate, it's good to be here.
We've got 20 people watching already, and we just went live, or 23. So welcome, everybody. I'll just give everybody a couple of shout-outs here. We had our Surfer Bee, who was first here, and then we've got Daniel, welcome. Twain. We've got Lefty Mike, Todd. How you doing, mate? Guitar Ray, Terry. He's probably modding a few chats tonight by the sounds of it. I Rock the Blues. Welcome, mate, from Sarasota, where I might be later this year, all being well. Ooh. I could fill people in on that. We've got Jeff. Welcome. Got John, ZD351. Welcome. Gap Lover. We've got Lando27 Music. How you doing, man? We've got Todd, I think I already said hi to, and Craig and Barry. So welcome, guys. We're going to be taking some questions and having a chat about all things music related, maybe actually chat about music to some extent as well, instead of just all gear stuff. But if you have gear questions, we can take whatever you like. So feel free to let us know. So what's news, Rick? What's been going on, man?
Oh, mate, I just had a house full of millennials for last night for a party for our daughter who's going over to Perth, which is 2,700 kilometres away, someone told us last night. So, wow. Yeah, just feeling a bit dusty this morning, but really happy to be joining the hangout and talking to all our beautiful subs out there.
Well, you're the rock god, mate, so the late nights, you should be used to those.
I tell you what, mate, you could do that when you're 20. I can remember going out playing a gig, staying out till 5 in the morning and then going straight to work at the hospital. So that was a long, long time ago.
Yeah.
I just hope no one was sick that day I came in. But, yeah, it's I'm feeling every part of my 53 years this morning. Although I know Terry's been shoveling snow and using a snowblower and whatnot. I wish he'd send some down here. It is so hot. My God.
Today's going to be brutal.
Absolutely. Was it 112 on the Fahrenheit scale?
Yeah, I think that's 44 is 112. So
well, it's going to be mentally hot.
Yeah. It's going to get up to, I don't know exactly. I didn't check today, but I think last night it was supposed to be up around 30.
40.
40. Oh, it is 40. Wow. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, it's brutal.
Yeah, absolutely. So Terry, send some snow, mate. We'd love some.
Yeah. No, I don't mind this weather. And you got a pool, mate, so you shouldn't be complaining. At least you can use it for one day a year.
Yeah, that's true. Absolutely.
All right. Let's just check the chat here. What's up, Guitar Freak, says Chris. What kind of doctor is Rick? He's one of those guys.
Mediocre is the word.
Yeah. I was going to say he's one of those guys who just works out the back of his car, but no.
Yeah,
I fix you for $40.
That's right.
I will fix you.
Yeah. No, I'm a family physician, or a GP as we call them here in Australia. So, but I was playing guitar when I was 15. So if I could, support the family and pay a mortgage playing the guitar, I would. But actually, you know what? To be absolutely honest, I couldn't. If music was a job, I think I wouldn't enjoy it as much.
No, I totally agree. And that's why I don't enjoy really booking a lot of gigs and chasing them every weekend and stuff, man. Because if you play too often, I think if it becomes too much of a job, then it can start to sort of zap your motivation a little bit. You're right. You play for fun.
Yeah.
Plus, you're guaranteed a paycheck doing what you do too. We're like, oh yeah, we'll play for free. We're good.
Yeah, well, no, that's true. If I do 2 gigs in a weekend feeding them, I don't want to see a guitar for, a week.
Yeah.
So what a wuss I am. But, yeah, I just think that keeps the love.
Jeff Harper says Rick doesn't look a day over 28. There you go.
Jeff, you need a new computer or Specsavers or something, pal.
That's funny.
Proctologist, says Terry. Yeah, well, they say that my job, you can describe it as coughs, colds, and sore holes. So, yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. All right. So we were talking the other day about, sort of off air about purging some gear. How's your thoughts on moving some stuff?
Mate, just like we have buyer's remorse, sometimes I have seller's remorse. And so I did, after we talked about it, I did go downstairs and have a look at my treasure trove of guitars, and I played each one of them. And you're going to call me absolutely neurotic. I do need a shrink, but I just felt all nostalgic about, I remember when I first saw that guitar and where I bought it and what I thought about it at the time. And they just suck you in and seduce you. So, yeah, I've absolutely failed in that regard. I love them. It's terrible. I love them, but I don't play them at gigs. It's awful. So I do need to get some cognitive behavioural therapy to say, hey, dickhead, it's just sitting around. It should be being played. What are you doing?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Tanner says, what made me sell my classic vibe? Just wondering as I'm considering buying one. I think at the time I bought that while I was traveling. I bought the Telecaster while I was in Florida one year, and I used it while I was away, came back, and I had my Telecaster, my Fender one, fixed, I think, the same year. I had the new frets, the stainless steel frets put in, or maybe right around that time. And I found I was mostly playing my Fender after that. There's nothing wrong with the Squier Classic Vibe, and the Strat, I don't even really recall why I ended up selling it, other than the fact that the neck was a little bit thin on that 60s Strat, but it sounded great. You know, like I watched the video we shot at your house with it, Rick, after I set it up, or after we set it up. I can't remember what happened exactly, but man, the tone of that thing was awesome. There's a few live clips of me playing the Strat Classic Vibe Strat 60s one, and they're great guitars, but I was going through, I still am, I still prefer a fatter neck. It doesn't have to be super fat or anything like that, but yeah, tone wise and all the and feel wise, those guitars are awesome. And you don't really need to fix anything on them either. But I think I sold the Tele mostly because I was going through this, I don't want to be doubling up on anything phase as well. So for me, the Fender Tele was my keeper. But they're great guitars. I still recommend them a lot of the time for people if they don't want to buy a Fender. That's the first guitar I recommend all the time. So
yeah, where they come in? Are they from China?
Yeah, they are.
Yeah. Well, certainly. I mean, Chinese guitars have the quality is just improved out of sight. Just recently, I guess I don't even know where the real junk is coming from anymore, because Indonesia, there's some great guitars coming out of there.
Yeah.
And Vietnam, mate, that Harley Benton, the Les Pauls at the 450.
Yeah,
it comes from Vietnam, and mate, I would take that into battle.
There's one of them coming down at some point too, I think. So
cool.
Yeah, I finally got confirmation of a few extra little bits and pieces on their way. So yeah, no, you're right. There's not a whole lot of junk out there, and I think even Daryl Braun put up a video about he bought a $100 guitar, and he just posted a video, had 175,000 views overnight.
Are you serious?
Yeah. So
what was his clickbaity title? I bought a guitar and he's a porn star.
It was like he's 100. I think all it was I bought a $100 guitar. I think that's what it was, and it just went crazy. I think there was something else to the title, but it did pretty well. But look, you can't go wrong with those classic vibes, man. I could gig with those, no problems at all. If I needed another secondary guitar, that I've got enough guitars, but if I did need another one, you could gig with those. I mean, we know a guy in Australia, Ray Beadle, who uses those live, and he's like the best guitar player we know. So he's a monster.
Yeah.
So you'll be. I buy and sell a lot of stuff. If I don't use it for a while, I get rid of it. But we'll see how we go this year.
Yeah. I'm just going to keep an eye on the questions, because I really last few live streams I've done, I just sort of lose track of them. But there's just a quick one from Dublin Blues. G'day, mate. Thoughts on the soul food pedal? Well, I reckon Shane must have sold about 500 of them to our viewers, because we did this video comparing the soul food to the Klein KTR, and it was just absolutely imperceptible, the difference. So, but having said that, Shane dropped the soul food once, on the way to the car at the gig or something, and one of the pots just sheared off flush with the pedal case. It's just this cheap plastic pot shaft that's completely unrepairable.
And they were pricks about it too. Like I emailed them and I said, look, you know, it fell from hand height to the ground. Like it wasn't like I threw it and the pot broke. I said, can you just send me another pot? I can fix it. I know how to fix it.
Yeah.
But they wouldn't do it. They're like, no, you have to send it back. I'm like,
yeah, and you have to give us $150.
Yeah, so it's going to cost you more to, yeah, anyway. So build quality-wise, they're terrible. Tone-wise, they're good.
Yeah, so I reckon buy it and put it in a bloody another steel box and just leave it on all the time.
There's much better options. Oh, sorry, Rick, I didn't mean to cut you off, but
no,
if you're going to buy a Klon copy and you want a quality one, get the Shelly Pony Boy. It's it's $100. It's built like a tank. The guy has done drop tests from a drone, and the thing survives. No joke. So they're built like tanks. I got 2 of them. They're great. That would be my choice. Spend the extra few bucks and get something without plastic pots.
Yeah.
Because yeah, that would be my choice. That would be my choice, hands down.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that was a very disappointing sort of chapter. Look, I know, you know, they're a big company and been in New York forever and whatnot, but they really did give us a dose of New York attitude, which, yeah, I thought was pretty disappointing given that we have moved lots of units for them.
Oh, yeah. I mean, my video I did on my own here at the house had 40,000 views really quickly. Like, it was one of those videos, and then we did yours, and they've promoted that video over and over. That's how that video's had hundreds of thousands of views. And
why don't we do a backup one with the busted one? Have you still got it?
No, I threw it out. Yeah. I did post a video about it breaking, you know, and I think it was just one of those things where in the end I was like, oh, I'm not going to spend more money to have the pedal shipped back and then returned than it's worth. Like, and that's how they get you. They're like, well, people aren't going to pay to have an inexpensive pedal fixed. They'll just go buy another one. But if you're going to buy something less expensive than the Shelly Pony Boy, get the Kalen Pegasus. That would be another good choice. It's got steel potentiometers as well. So if it falls, it's not going to break.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Terry's at work, mate. He's just been cleaning up.
What happened, sorry?
Terry's been doing a bit of moderating.
So, oh, okay. Cool.
Thank you, Terry.
I must have missed. Okay, I must have missed something there. I was a bit higher up the chat, so
yeah. Someone's asked as well, how do you get into the artist amplifier? It was a great video, mate. It sounded really good.
Yeah, thanks. I've got it out in the other room just in case we decide to do something silly tonight and go play. But yeah, I love it. I reckon it's great. I already have tried the Texas Heat speaker in there. I thought I'd get into the speaker swap thing, and it's exactly like a Blues Junior. The way you get into it, take the side screws out, take a couple out of the top, put the Celestion back in, and it's got more of a tweed sound with that speaker, which is not surprising given the voicing of the Texas Heat, but I thought maybe it might sort of make the amp sound even louder. But it just it sort of changed it a little too much for me. I don't think the EL84s sort of have this bright sort of sound.
Yeah.
And it works well with that Celestion speaker, or I guess any kind of Celestion that has or English voice speaker, I should say. So, what was the actual question about the
how do you get one?
Oh, the website was in the description of the video. So it's Artist Guitars. Just type that in .com.au.
No worries. That's from I Rock the Blues.
Cool. Yeah, all of my videos have links in the description, so or on screen. A lot of people skip the talking, but that's where you find out where you can check them out. All right. How's this? I'm looking for the big muff. I'm looking to get a big muff for the Gilmore tone, regular, nano, or little, or is there a Donna or Joyo you recommend?
Big muff for Gilmore tone?
Yeah, I thought that was like it's a high gain fuzz pedal, right? I mean, does he even?
Yeah, I'm sure in many incarnations of his pedal board over the years, there's big muff in it, but yeah, geez, I'm sorry. You know, probably for both Shane and I, fuzzes are kind of something that you just muck around with, but I don't think either of us have gigged with one. So I probably can't help you out that much. But man, what a tone. And did you see he's having a huge sale of all his guitars?
Oh, no, I haven't seen that, actually.
Yeah, I think Christie's like you know, the iconic black Strat that, you know, he recorded The Wall and that beautiful solo from Comfortably Numb's on that Strat. It's crazy.
Oh wow!
You can bloody buy it.
There you go, mate. Get into it.
No, I have to sell every 3 of my kids and probably half of the house too. But yeah, I'm not quite sure what's going on there. Why he's sort of divesting himself of all these classic instruments. He's an international man of mysteries, David Gilmour.
Yeah, I've seen some interviews and stuff with him, but I don't really know a lot about his gear. Like the only reason I'm not a huge fan is I haven't really listened to enough of it I only know the hits.
Yeah.
And he's not a guy that I like his playing. I just don't know enough about his sound. Like I know more about like guys like Knopfler and, you know, Clapton and a few other dudes. I can instantly sort of hear their sound in my head. I can on a couple of those solos, but I'm just not as big into. I've just maybe listened to enough of it over the years, like a lot of people do. But yeah,
I think you find that in most sort of top 10 Stratocaster tones or players of all time, he's always there because
totally.
Wow, he's just it's the most brilliant sound and so tasteful and lyrical. You know, again, they say that if you can sing the solo, then it's an absolute ripper. And you know, guys like David Gilmour and Knopfler and Angus Young.
Santana.
Sorry?
And Carlos as well. I think he's a guy who can sing a lot of his solos.
Yeah, that's because they're all the same. Just joking.
No, but I'm serious. Like he's, you know, just all these little melody licks and stuff are great. Like he's got a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Blues Boy Kentucky, g'day mate. He's got a question. I'm a self-taught intermediate player and I hear a lot about scales, modes and triads. What is good to use when learning to improvise, mate? Well, that's interesting because we're just talking about solos that you can sing. And I reckon that's the challenge, to make something that you're playing not sound like a scale. You know, it just sticks out like a sore thumb. That when someone's just sort of working their way through the scales, it's a very mechanical kind of sound. But I think just come up with just a simple melody in your head, and you know, the more you do that and sort of link the ideas together, it obviously comes out really clunky first few times you do it. But I think it has to be about the melody, or you know, where the song is sort of taking you in your head. So. Look, I mean, everyone talks about having to have that good sound knowledge of scales and modes, and yeah, but I think for me anyway that melody is king, because otherwise you just fall victim to your muscle memory and you just play those things that, you know. And whenever I watch, you know, live clips of my playing, I just think, oh, there's that lick, there it is again. Oh, and again, mate, you get good value in that lick.
Yeah, I think we're all guilty of that, though. Like,
yeah. Well, I think that's the challenge, to break out of that box and not do exactly, you know, what your fingers want to do. You know, that video that unfortunately didn't work out at GitCon, where I sat in with Simon McBride.
Oh, yeah, I can't believe I lost the footage.
Oh,
yeah, it sucks.
I sort of it was a bittersweet feeling because, you know, that was a day that, well, there was a couple of days at GitCon where I just had my ass handed to me on a platter. But he was so sweet and a beautiful player, but he just said, play me a blues lick, any blues lick. So I just played him one of the 4 that I have. And he said, okay, change the first note in that lick, just the first note. And then I did that. And then he said, change the first 2 notes. And I played, you know, two notes different. And then he said, change the first 3. And it was fascinating that it felt kind of unnatural, but the more I did it, the more I realised, yeah, that's the way to sort of add a bit of freshness to your playing, is to not do the first thing that comes into your mind, but think about it, and eventually, hopefully, that would become second nature. But yeah, that was a great learning experience for me.
Another good tip is also something I've been messing with a bit more, and when I'm flowing a bit, it's easier, but is kind of like skipping strings. You know, a lot of licks connect like notes on strings cascading up or down, right?
Yeah.
A lot of the time.
Yeah.
It's fun to try to sort of miss a string and try to make it work. That's a good little trick of getting out of playing the same thing all the time the same way.
Yeah.
And Jamal's asking, do either of us clean our fretboards on our guitars? I do it every now and then. I probably once a year, maybe less on some guitars. Anytime I look at it and go, ugh, and I'm changing the strings, that's when I'll give it the good old Gibson tone polish and give it a scrub.
Yeah.
Then I can hear that wood. You know, it sounds great. No. I give it a clean maybe once a year. It just depends on how filthy it is.
Yeah, if mine don't need a clean, I'll just sell it. It's like with strings. It needs new strings. Out she goes.
All right, let's have a look here. Can you guys recommend the best humbucker set for the money? That's from Matt R.
Ooh. Well, I've had a difficult time, I'd have to say, with humbuckers over the years. I just generally, for my ear, I just find them too dark. So that was until I heard Shane's PRS with the 8515 pickups, which just have a lovely top end, but still got that sort of mid-range and bottom end balls to push through. But it's just really articulate. So, excuse me, when I heard those, I thought, well, I better look at this PRS thing. And I love the 5708s in my custom 22, just for that very reason. They're just very versatile. So I would tend to, again, for my ears, I'd go for a low wound pickup, not one of these high sort of SH5 single Duncan, you know, that are wound to 16K or something really hot, because you're just stuck with that. You can't sort of wind out that mid-range honk and the top end roll off and all that sort of stuff. So certainly the low turns, I've heard really great things about the Lola Imperial low turns. Just a pickup that's sort of wound, I guess, more like to PAF specs, that just can really sing. And then you turn down, like our friend Ryan's got a 63 335, and I played it the other day, which was a really dumb thing to do because it's beautiful, and turn the volume down to 3, and it still sounds lovely. There's still tops in it, and it's dynamic and squishy and beautiful. So, and those pickups are PAFs and they're beautiful. So that's my 2 cents worth. But I know you're saying for the money, PAF, I don't know what it could cost you, but I would certainly be looking for the lower output humbucker, because I think it just retains the tops and is much more expressive, unless you play you know, death metal or all that sort of stuff.
I'm gonna throw somebody's name in here. Briley pickups. I reckon his humbuckers are awesome. I don't know where you live, but Mick Briley makes some pretty nice humbuckers as well. I got them in the Raven, the Little Crow Raven guitar. Those humbuckers are pretty cool. There's plenty of companies that will make PAF pickups as well. I've only really tried a handful. But yeah, if you get that sort of spec, they'll generally be pretty good if you're getting them from someone who knows what they're doing. That would be my my suggestion. But just have a look around and have a look and see what's within your budget as well. There's a million pickup builders out there, no doubt about it. I'll go down to this. Jet Plane says, do you always develop your melodies on the guitar, or do you sometimes use other instruments inadvertently? You know what's weird? I don't know if it's a melody thing, but anytime I write the backing tracks for the channel, I start with the bass, or I start with the drums, but then I start with the bass, and then I layer it up, and I start to hear things based on, I think I kind of hear them in my head before. I don't really play a lot of melodic stuff, but even, you know, rhythm ideas and stuff, just that, you know, chord voicings and stuff, I can hear that once I've got something to work with. It's not like I'm hearing it prior to that, you know, like it's just, this is what I'm presented with. This is what I'm hearing. But I guess if you're already in the moment of playing live, sometimes you can hit a different run of notes almost by accident, which opens up ideas too. I've been in a situation where I've played stuff and not kind of meant to have hit a certain pattern of notes, but it worked really well. It's like, oh, that's where that's coming from. I remember the first time we started doing one of the harmonies, Rick, years ago. I actually hit those notes completely improvised, and I went, oh, that works, you know, and then you got on it straight away. I was like, oh, here we go. So that's how that got sort of stuck in my head, that da-da-da-da-da-da-da thing that we used to play.
Yeah.
So that was just done one night at Mount Dandenong Hotel. I never had done that before. And it was one of those things where I was like, oh, that kind of works. And so I don't know, it's just a combination of sometimes trying something new, or you might play something familiar, but you get, as you start developing the brain-hand connection thing, you can kind of take those ideas to somewhere else and add a few little notes. But yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, I saw this video with Larry Carlton, and who I absolutely love. And he had this idea where you'd be playing a blues solo over A pentatonic, for example. And he said, just maybe on the change when it's going up to the 4, just accidentally slide up to B flat pentatonic or G sharp pentatonic. So one step up or one step down, and just play, you know, a half a dozen notes from that, and then slide back into the A pentatonic. And it's just, if people listen, they just go, what? And it's like, it just adds this tension, and it's a bit of a cheap sort of party trick. You don't be doing it all the time, but it just sort of, again, breaks it out of your patterns. I think I
was about to say something, Jamie showed me. So this isn't plugged in, obviously, but yeah, like if you're in, say, E minor, you can play over the B minor.
That's right. Because there's only one note difference in the. Yeah, it's
a completely different vibe, and then you can kind of mix both of the scales around and find the notes that sound good when you land on them. And I've been using that a lot over certain types of feels, like a 1/4 kind of groove really lends itself to messing with that scale, you know, or messing with that idea.
Yeah, definitely. It's just things to sort of just little treats for your ear, just to sweeten it up a bit, or just make it just break out of the box. I think that's what we're all trying to do, just make them sound a bit interesting and make us look like we know what the hell we're doing.
WC Fields, here's a question for you. He asked it to me, but I'll ask this one to you, Rick. Shane, any advice on warming up Fender Mustang GT200? Warming up the tone of the Fender GT200. I like so many features on it, but it sounds blanketed. I know you've got a 200. And I got to say, man, the other night when you had it cranked, or our friend Carl had turned you up, it just sounded like your sound. So you nailed it.
Yeah, look.
What was the trick there?
Well, thanks for your question, WC. Look, certainly the latest firmware has got a whole bunch of much better EQs in it. So you can get a big like 8-band graphic, or the 5-band graphic, which is sort of like a model of the Mesa Boogie graphic. But I found the best thing to do is to run the graphic before the amp, and you can sort of shape the tone that goes into the amp. And then, the Mustangs for me have got generally way too much bottom end. I think they're designed for playing in the bedroom and getting that big chunky sound, but live that just gets lost, because that's where the bass guitar should be living. So I always goose it in the mids, sort of from about 800K up to about 1.5, 1.8, even up to 2K, just to give it some sort of voice. And look at it, it improves that situation. But I use the GT200 as the jam amp. It's light and it's loud, and the effects in it sound fine. I mean, I just use reverb and a bit of delay. I think running the EQ before the amp I mean, you could even put an EQ block after them if you want to keep sculpting. But yeah, just to push those mids to get them to come through, because yeah, mids by themselves, if you're just playing in your room, sound sort of ugly and nasal. But yeah, you get them in with a band with you know, the big snares and cymbals crashing and a bass guitar playing, and the mids is where you live, man. That'd be it. So download the latest firmware, have a look at those EQ blocks, and just get one that you can really goose the mids, and I think you'll find it is a bit less sort of in the other room sound. But
yeah, I mean, we both thought for quite some time that they always sounded like they weren't loud enough in a live mix, or they weren't sticking out of the live mix anywhere near enough. I've taken my 100 before it died at the Jam out a number of times and played it live, and it was plenty loud. I got asked to turn down a couple of times, and this was in a loud room too. Yeah. So you can definitely get them to work. Yeah, Ric's, you know, he's got the 200, I got the 100, and yeah, you were easily like cutting the mix the other night, man. It was, I was pretty shocked. It was probably the most 3D it's ever sounded, to be honest. It was really good.
Yeah, well, it took for another man to be twiddling my knobs to get that happening. So thank you, Khaled, DJ Khaled. You're the man.
Any ideas why Guild guitars aren't super popular? I can't seem to find any quality complaints. Quality complaints. That's from Andy. I don't know, actually. I just don't see Guild guitars around much where I live. I do see them from time to time, but they're usually like secondhand. Are they still even in production?
Yeah, I think Fender bought Guild years ago. They made this thing, I think it was called a Blues Bird. It was like their version of a Les Paul. And it was great. It was a beautiful, solid guitar, but I don't know, in the market, do people just, if they want a Les Paul, do they just buy a Les Paul?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they sort of struggled to. Oh, they had this sort of like a 335, maybe a downsized one with a funny sort of trapeze tailpiece, and I don't know if they suffered from a bit of where do we fit in the market, but certainly not junk. That's right. They have the de-armand pickups and all that sort of thing. They probably appeal to the jangly kind of shoegazer guitar set, but I must admit I haven't seen one for ages, and I think they just struggled to find their place in the market.
Everyone's saying that you look younger now, Ric. What have you done, mate? You've had some surgeries, have you? or is it the favourable lighting?
Mate, I've got every light in the house off because it's just so bloody hot. So no, look, I've got no idea. I've been drinking lots of water. So no, I don't know, mate, but I appreciate it at my age.
We missed a couple of questions before. Someone was saying, we recommend a best pedal for you know, like a band all-in-one sort of thing? I tried the trio pedal while I was away a couple of years ago now in Florida. I went to Guitar Center and gave it a shot. I don't know. I wasn't convinced it was something that I really wanted. It was a little fiddly, and it was a little, yeah. So for those who don't know what they are, you can essentially like play to a drum track or just play a chord progression. It will add drums, it will add bass, and then you can sort of tweak the feels of it. And it's a good kind of tool, I guess, for seeing how a song idea might sit. But I always think like you might even be better just buying a loop station pedal. The reason that's a great option is because it forces you to play on time as well, you know, whereas the stuff like the trio will kind of just, they will conform it to work. You don't necessarily normally have to work on your timing so much.
Yeah.
Whereas a loop station pedal really brings out how well or how poor your you know, your execution and timing is. And I struggled with them for a long time. Every time I used to get a loop station, I'd be like, oh man, all right, time to play properly. Like I was like, I got to get this right. So I would almost suggest, if you're really thinking about doing that sort of stuff, unless you really need it for playing in a particular situation, I would almost say get a stomp box and a loop station and just build up the ideas on guitar, as opposed to doing that. I mean, it might give you more options, but if you're just playing at home, just to get some drum tracks. You know, I get all mine from Jim Dooley, who's online. He's got a great YouTube channel. I'm actually subscribed to his website. So that's how I get all my acoustic drums. And then I just layer them up with bass and play over it. But yeah, that's kind of a bit more of a real world sort of way of doing it, as opposed to having the band sort of just click on behind you. Because what you might find is, with what I've sort of found with that, is there's not enough variation in it either. Like once it's going, it's on. And I don't know. There are ways you can change the drum feel and all that kind of stuff, but I just prefer to work, at least with the backing tracks I do, just to use the computer, and it's probably a better. It gives you more flexibility if you know how to sort of layer stuff up on the computer as well. You can start recording properly as well that way. So. It's not, no, I didn't really answer the question, but no, I haven't really found like an all-in-one that I really love, or that I've tried. You know, I've only tried a couple of them.
Yeah, our buddy Mike Bradley in the UK, I think he's associated with this pedal called Beat Buddy.
Oh, they emailed me, not to cut you off, but they gave me a script, and I went, burp. I said, good luck with that. Yeah, they did the same thing to Philip McKnight. We both.
They gave you a script?
Yeah, they said, oh, we want you to say how well it's performed for you for months, and this is how much of a better player it made me, and all of this kind of crap. And I was like, yeah, good luck with that. So don't ever email me again. And don't. I said, if you actually want to get your product out there, get it people just to give you their opinions on it. Don't ever write a script. Man. You're not going to be shooting yourself in the foot. But anyway, I think they might have changed their tune not long after that, because I think right around that same time, Phil did exactly the same thing. He's like, I'm not reviewing this. Like, that's not how this works. Anyway, yeah. So I didn't even check that. I didn't even check into it in the end. Is it any good? Or
you know what? It looks too complicated for simple people like me. But yeah, again, if I want to. There's a loop function actually in the GT200, and so I just turn the tone down on my guitar and just play the bass drum on my low string, and then just get that going. But I must admit, when I play, I think I've got this internal metronome in my head. So, but I'm just a Philistine. I'm sure there's great stuff that you can use as a tool for building songwriting and riffs and all that sort of shit. But I just I can't get anywhere. I'd rather just play my guitar. Who cares about the drums and the bass?
Your metronome's in your chin, mate. Who are you kidding?
Yeah, that's right. It's actually shocking. My kids just watch and go, "Oh my god, I can't believe I've got some of his DNA in me." That's just it's very deeply troubling. But
the older they get, the more that they'll start doing it too.
Yeah, absolutely.
You start to turn into your parents at some point. So
Well, that's bad news for them. I think my son will just go and blow his head off right now. But yeah, look, yeah, it's true. That's exactly. I just feel wherever it is, wherever it comes from, that's its internal sort of metronome thing. So, no, it's all good, mate.
I got a mosquito going around in here. It's crazy.
Kill that bit. Sorry, that's very misogynistic. Kill that. Actually, no, don't. Just trap it and put it outside.
Sorry, I was reading and trying to listen at the same time. I just realized what we said. Desert Island Overdrive pedal from Joe.
Oh, gee.
Yeah, I'll let you go first with this one. Well, actually, I already know mine. I'll take the Royal Flush Dual Overdrive. I'll take that. I got 2 in 1. That's about as good as it's going to get for me.
Yeah. You know, for quite a long time now, I've been using the Over Unity from UME. That's designed and built by a good mate of mine, Tony, and I absolutely love it. But being the guitar whore that I am, I bought a Andy Timmons overdrive made by JHS. It's a 2 stages, so it's got the Andy Timmons overdrive plus a foot switchable boost in a very small, well, you know, just a standard sized enclosure. And I love Andy Timmins. No, are you familiar with his playing at all, Shane?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I've heard the name.
Yeah.
That's one of those things. I'm terrible with names, but I'm good with hearing. If I've heard a song, I'll go, "Oh, I know this tune." But yeah, no, I don't think so.
He's just a great player. You'll absolutely love him. I'll send you some of his stuff because he's just got a beautiful tone and voice in the guitar. Anyway, I love his guitar sound, and so you buy this pedal and it sounds like Andy, except you can obviously tweak it to you. It's not, you're not like some sort of clone. But I used it. Whenever the last time was we played. Oh yeah, we remember on New Year's Eve we played that rocking gig, and it's a really great sounding pedal. So
yeah, it was huge. Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, I'd probably take my UME over Unity, but because the Andy Timmins is so small, I'll probably stick it somewhere and have it as my second sneaky one. It's pretty small, so it would be not too uncomfortable. But yeah, certainly it's a great overdrive, and because I had to buy a Friedman Brown Eye OD a little while back for this gig I was doing where it needed that 80s sort of heavy rock sound, and it's great, but for me it's a little bit of a one-trick pony, whereas the Andy Timmins is much more versatile, and it's a fantastic pedal.
Cool.
Yeah,
a lot of fans of Andy Timmins in the chat here. So
yeah, and mate, and he's one of those bastards. I hate him. He can sing.
Oh yeah,
but he just seems so personable and likable. I hate these guys that sort of do everything well. It's it's a real problem. But yeah, he's just got a great tone, and
cool.
Yeah, it's not weird and out there and too jazzy. It's just juicy. You can really sort of get your teeth into it. And,
yeah, cool.
Yeah, I dig it.
You know, I've gone back to also using a overdrive I used to use all the time with the Royal Flush, and I almost feel like it's just a leave-on overdrive, which would be a very close second. Would be the that Buffalo Effects Carrera overdrive. I've used that live the last couple of times with the Fender amp, and I didn't even have to stack anything into it. It's a four button or 4 control overdrive.
Yeah,
just turn your guitar down, it cleans up. I mean, you heard that the other week.
Yeah,
that was just that. You know,
I really did love it. It just felt like if you play soft, it sort of cleans up and it's kind of chimey, and then you dig in and it's just got that right amount of compression and mids to cut through. Again, that's it's that voice. I don't know. People talk about tube screaming, it cuts off your bottoms and it pushes the mids. Well, yeah, I agree. In a room just by yourself, it's like what? But you hear it in a band, and that's why. I mean, look at the biggest pedal at NAMM this year. Almost certainly was the Ibanez Vemiram TSV 808. Did you see the amount of hype around that?
No, I didn't watch. I think I watched like 3 NAMM videos, man. I can't do it. I'm around gear too much to want to watch more gear.
I'll tell you what, I'll send it to you. It's Josh Smith, who I absolutely love. He was on the in the Vemiram booth at NAMM and attracted the attention of the NAMM volume police. But before they came around and sort of told him to turn down. Oh. So look, yeah, I agree. There's millions of videos from NAMM, and most of them you sort of gloss over, except for if they're mates of ours that we know. But
yeah, I was following some of it on Instagram, and that was enough. Like I followed Mike. I was chatting to him a bit, Mike Bradley, over that, and also Guitargate. I was checking out some of the stuff. He was Mike from Guitargate. You know, he posted some really cool photos with John Mayer and
I think Santana. Did you see that John Mayer met Mike? So hopefully he showed him some licks and told him not to be such a tool bag. But no offense, John. But it was look, NAMM, I can tell you now, there's not a snowflake's chance in hell that I could get there and survive. It just looks like GitCon on steroids. If that main room at GitCon was kind of intimidating and too noisy for us, then NAMM would just devour us. It's not a chance. I wouldn't have thought.
I'd go to the Nashville one if I was there, but I'm not going to go. I'm not going to fly over and spend the amount of money to get there that it would take, plus accommodation.
Yeah.
For me, it's probably not the smartest move. But if I was already in the US and I was near the summer one, I'd probably go check it out.
Yeah.
I just wouldn't do a specialty trip for it. And being in like even our little Melbourne guitar show, for those in here from Melbourne, will know, like, that gets pretty busy, but it's also 1/10 of the size of NAMM. So, and it's probably got 1/50th of the amount of people. So for me, that's not a whole lot of fun.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Sorry.
No, absolutely. I mean, I have to get to Nashville as a part of a guitar. I really, really do need to get there. Just have a feel of it. And, you and I are, we're telly twangers at heart. We just, I love a good telly. I think there was a question actually before the Desert Island guitar. I think it would still be my telly. I love my PRS. I love my Framus Philips XG, but I think I'd take a telly. Yeah,
so would I.
Yeah?
Yeah, the 52. If I only had to keep one guitar, that would be it. I'd get rid of everything else. The one I enjoy playing the most right now is still a PRS, just because it's light and it's great, and it makes me play a little bit. It's easier to play. It really is. It's a little bit easier than the Tally overall in just terms of feel. But man, it's funny. Like, I go back to the Tally, and it's such a great rhythm instrument as well. I kind of forget like how great of a rhythm guitar Tallies are, and so I would definitely take that. So we've got 103 people here, by the way, guys. If you're enjoying the chat, please give the video a thumbs up, and we'll see if we can get it to. We'll go for 75. That seems like an achievable goal. If you've already thumbs up, then I appreciate that too. Someone mentioned it before, thrash metal, but there's no swearing in the chat, mate. So I apologize. He's cool, but I hide that sort of stuff. I don't like it was maybe said in a funny way, but I just thought,
so can we not actually swear as well?
Oh, look, it's all right. I just don't want. I don't know. I don't a lot while I'm doing this, but it's more like just the language in the chat gets automatically moderated as well. There's a lot of keywords that get blocked. So
gotcha.
Yeah, I like to try to keep it pretty clean.
Yeah, no.
But I do appreciate the thumbs up remark there. Either way, it doesn't offend me. By the way, I just like to keep it that way.
Yeah. You're like China Guitar Skeptic. You like to have a loving sort of vibe, brother, and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, I love that.
I got nothing.
Cheers.
All right. Sorry. Yeah. No, he's a cool guy. Someone asked who's the guy playing the Red Flying V. That's the late great Michael Burks. He died a couple of years ago. Michael Burks is a monster. I always rave about him and Chris Kane. He's basically got the voice of Albert King.
Yeah.
He can play all of that sort of style of stuff, but he can also melt your face. He's just a great singer, or was.
Yeah.
He was, funnily enough, one of my favorite tones. This is kind of the funny thing about it. One of the favorite tones or songs of his was Empty Promises. It's a great tune. Guitar song. Go check it out. The studio version of that, I'm pretty sure, was active EMGs in a Strat.
What?
Yeah. So he played Les Pauls a lot. He played Flying V's. He was an EMG artist. I had no idea. And at that time, I was like, this tone's fat as. What is it? And I looked him up. I was like, is that the guitar? Because that's what he's holding on the album cover. I figured that's what it was. So, Strat with 2 active EMGs.
Amazing.
It rocks. So I can highly recommend Michael Burks. Check him out.
Yeah, it's BURKS, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
I reckon, he's like Albert King, except better tone, could tune his guitar, and probably couldn't have a worse attitude. But and
he's the same sort of guy, like in height too. I think from what I heard, Michael Burks was like a monster.
Like a linebacker. My God, okay. There's a question we missed. Sorry, guys, I'm trying to keep an eye on things. But someone asked us about the Hot Rod DeVille. Michael, hello. Hey, Michael, I hope you're still with us. Yeah, the Hot Rod DeVille 4, the drive channel was absolutely usable. I thought it was really a great sounding amp, but I just need someone else to carry it to the gig because it's a big 212 combo, and I don't know what Fender put in their amps, but man, it weighs a freaking ton. But had good tone, and if I turned up at a gig and that was in the back line, I'd be as happy as a pig in slop because I thought it sounded really good. The drive channel is just, it's so much better tuned than previous incarnations of the DeVille.
And like, to put that in context too, we got to test it against the clean channel with pedals, and I think we both preferred how the drive channel felt and sounded in the room. Like it was unbelievable. Like that's the first Fender amp with other than the Supersonics, but in that hot rod range that has a drive channel that actually sounds unreal. You don't lose the low end.
Yeah.
You know, like a lot of them were always, you switch channels and you go, oh, just it lost the punch. The only time I ever heard one of the older DeVilles sound great was back before they started doing like the 3s and all of that kind of stuff. It was like some old version drive channel cranked. I heard Khaled, our friend, have that up at about 8 one time at a gig, and it was epic with the 335. But yeah, it's not. They sound so much better now than they used to, which only took them 30 years. But you know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, they're great. Great tone. Can't really talk about the reliability, as you know. Shane and I have fabled with our adventures with Fender amplifiers.
You did get asked that earlier. We missed that question. I saw it before. Someone said, "Do you know what happened with that amp that Ric blew up?"
I'm sure it's still sitting in the corner of the amp room. Waiting for some sap to go, I've seen that in the magazine. I love it. I don't want to play it. I just want to take it home. So no, we don't know. Look, it might have just been a tube. We had various people chime in and say, oh, you know, that's a classic sound of a power tube or preamp tube dying or whatever. But yeah, don't know. Fender just shipped that sort of line of amps with the crappiest, cheapest rubbish tubes, and obviously they stick it in a box and put it on a plane, and by the time it gets down here, you know, 16,000 kilometers away, it's amazing if any of the valves still work. You know, you can pull out any valve on those amps and use it like a maraca. It's just have lots of lovely bits of glass and other bits of you know, grid, shit, cathode, whatever. Yeah, so we just get
that's so true, man.
Yeah. It's sad but true, and mate, I have 5 Fender guitars, and I've had lots and lots of Fender stuff. So we don't bash Fender indiscriminately. It's just based on just lots of crap experience, and I don't even know who does the customer relations for Fender in Australia anymore because there's no Fender Australia. But yeah, it's certainly. I liked it back in the old days when Fender Australia was there and there was actual human being on the other end of the phone. But all that notwithstanding, you've got a relationship with Fender a bit, don't you?
Oh, only with like I don't know how much of a relationship it is, but they were nice enough to send me the Mustang amp out for a full review with no terms. Like, take it, see what you think of it. Now that we've updated the firmware, and I'll you know, I guess in a way it's worked out. Like when the amp blew up, they were not. I said to the guys, "Look, it died. I played it out live. That was it. It just shut off. Here's the problems. Do you want it back, or can I swap it?" They said, "No, just do whatever you want with it. We'll get you another one." So that was pretty cool. Like at least they were nice enough to do that. But
yeah, absolutely.
You know, it's not like I'm discussing lots of stuff with them. That was pretty much it. But the guys that have at least been nice enough to email me have been great. Like I haven't had any. They're not emailing me saying, "Oh, we need you to say this or that," or you know. And people who know my channel, I don't go for that. Anytime the companies suggest I say a lot of stuff in the video, I usually just say, "Save your money on the freight. I'm not interested."
Yeah.
and they were great like that. So I give Fender credit for being open to critique as opposed to, and that was what the Beat Buddy company wasn't about. They were more like, we need you to say this. This is how we want you to, these are the points you need to mention in the video. And I was like, yeah, good luck with that. So no legitimate YouTuber who wants to remain impartial is going to read your crap.
No,
it's just not going to happen.
No way, not a chance. Beat Buddy should be called the Humbucker. Yeah,
so that was pretty disappointing. I was pretty shocked. Jamal says, when's the Melbourne Guitar Show? It was August, I think. Usually,
it's always cold.
Yeah, it is. You stand outside waiting to get in. It's like freezing cold.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, I don't know. I don't even feel a strong compulsion to go there anymore. Isn't it weird that you've got a channel based on gear, but
this is why I can't watch the NAMM stuff. I can't do it. I just, it's like, what do you do as a day job? Say you build fences. The last thing you want to do on the weekend is build fences, or you're going to spend your time looking up fences when you're not at work. You know, whatever the job is, unless you love it. And I love what I do, but I'm around it all the time, right? Like, you know, I'm always answering questions in the comments, and I just can't sit there and get too excited by a lot of new stuff that I see anymore. That's why I'm going to downsize a lot of my stuff. A big part of that is it's easy to keep it and have it sort of sit there, but I'm going to keep the stuff that I use either live, or I'm going to keep the stuff that I use for the channel, and everything else that's just sitting around is going to go. I kind of feel like I'd be more enthusiastic about other stuff if I didn't have all the stuff I've already got. But I don't know, man. It's hard to explain to people. Like, it's nothing against the NAMM event or whatever. I just can't sit there and watch a lot of gear videos anymore on many. Like, there's a few channels I follow, but I can't sit there and watch all of them because I'm either in front of my computer editing the videos I make, or, you know, I'm photographing stuff, or I'm filming gear. I don't know. It's just hard for me to find time to watch them all too. But I'll just wait and see what sort of is. I'll probably watch a couple of videos at some point and just get a rough overview of the sort of stuff that I'd seen. But I watched a couple of walkthrough videos that I think Tone King had someone filmed on behalf of him or whatever. And I thought to myself, this looks like all the same stuff that I'm used to seeing in any shop I walk through. And I just kind of went, you know, it's just the same stuff. It's the same stuff.
Like, I'll tell you what, I'm really excited for when you upload the guitar
Search Saturday.
Search Saturday videos from Germany, because I love all the stores we went to, but I really love that Matthias Yarb's MJ guitars in Munich. That was fantastic, mate. I'd go there 1,000 times before I go to somewhere like NAMM, because it just had so much amazing, interesting stuff, really cool vibe, and there was so much mojo coming off of those guitars, wasn't there? It was great. So I don't want to see wall after wall after wall of things that are so similar that, and you know, just with all the hype and.
You know what it is? I think this is part of it for me. How excited can you get over the same stuff coming out all of the time? Like, they might make certain sort of small variations, but it's not like computers, how like you wait 5 years, the computer that's just come out is going to be, you know, light years ahead of the one that was out 5 years ago, right? It's not the same sort of thing. It's different. Like, camera technology moves fast. Everything, or on the most part, like you wait 5 years, it's so much better than it was 5 years ago.
Yeah.
But guitars, it sort of, to me, it's like, well, we've got a few new brands or whatever doing the classic designs. Like, they've all been done. And I think people have got to, and myself included, this is part of the reason I think I'm downsizing stuff too. Is it like, how much stuff do you need to play music? How much stuff do you actually require in your arsenal to do a gig, or to make videos, or whatever it is you do, or to record at home? Or I just don't need it, that much stuff. And for me to get if I've already got it, say a Gibson or a Fender, I'm not going to get overly excited anymore about wanting to buy another one because I don't need it. I really don't need it. The one I've got's fine for my purposes, unless I find something that's different. That's why over the last sort of 5 years or more, I don't have too many doubles in my collection. Or if I do, it's, you know, for something that's just come in. But generally, like, the last few guitars I've purchased have all been different to the ones prior. And I kind of think that's a healthier attitude. Like, if I was to get another Les Paul, I would sell my Tokai. You know, there would be no reason why I would need two of those. For me personally, I'm not saying that people who go out and buy doubles, they don't need them or whatever either. That's not what I'm getting at. But I'm just saying, like, I can't get as excited about what's coming out next year in the guitar niche like I can in other industries. I just don't think there's enough amazing stuff that, like Fender re-releasing deluxe reverbs in a brown Tolex or whatever. It's like, yeah, well, good stuff.
Yeah.
It sounds really pessimistic, but it's true, man. Like, I already got amps that work for me. Like, I got guitars that sound great. Is me getting excited or about the next year's Gibsons? I'd love a Flying V, right? Because I don't have one.
Yeah.
But it's not gonna. I think people have to keep track of, is it going to make you play any better, or is it just something you're adding to your collection for the sake of it, or is it something you're really going to use and love? I think that's the difference. If you buy something and you love it and you use it a lot, then it's justified. But if I'm buying something just to have it sit in the back or in the cupboard,
for me, like when you played that V at MJ Guitars, even though it was a right-hander, something happened to you.
I love those guitars. I used to have
look, you just dug in and had the real blues face going, and there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, you know, so much of guitar buying, and I'll absolutely fess up here, you know, you buy with your eyes, and you know that ain't always great, because you know sometimes it doesn't work out, but you know, you first see it and then you play it. It's just complex. Like, there's a PhD in it for how you can go from not even knowing that a guitar exists to an hour later thinking, well, I can't walk out of here without it. So it's a lot of psychology. And I mean, that's how I've ended up with all these bloody Telecasters, because each one of them sort of evokes a different thing in me. Whereas, you know, the Strat that I've got, I don't even look at other Strats now. I just got no interest at all.
All right, but given you gig a lot, right, and you were using them too, so it's, you know, or at least at one point you were using them all, so you were, that was justified in a way. You weren't just like leaving it sit under the bed. But what I'm saying is, like, how excited can you be if you already have guitars that you love just for the next year's stuff? It should there's a whole psychology almost of people, or I don't even know what it is. It's just like that maybe it's an online thing where the hype gets behind these ideas, much like those Origin amps. Remember when I bought my DSL, everyone was telling me I'd made a mistake. I should have got the Origin amps and all of that kind of stuff. And then I was like, well, that didn't work out for me at all. I didn't like those compared to the Marshall DSL. So I don't know. I feel like the hype's more behind the product, but it's not stuff that's going to really be any better than what you've already got. Like, if you were to go out and buy another custom shop Telio, you might have seen one that you saw in a video or something. How do you feel about seeing those from your perspective? Do you get really excited, like, oh man, I'd love to go play this? Do you still get that?
No,
I don't get that either, man. I have no desire to go out and buy a more expensive PRS than the one I got. None, unless I pick one up and it's a bargain, like a crazy bargain, and I love it a lot more than this. I have no desire to go do that. I'm like, well, what? I guess it's subjective to what you love and what works for you, and how much you're going to use it as well.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah.
I used to be a real minimalist when I gigged. It was like a couple of pedals, a couple of amps, and I was done. And over the years, I think through doing YouTube and a few other things too, you know, you accumulate more stuff than you'll actually ever need. And I think maybe me purging some of this will get me more excited to fill a cupboard with a Flying V. We don't know yet.
No, absolutely. I mean, I think there's certain guitars that it's sort of in your destiny, and I reckon a V definitely is mate, I mean, that V we played at MJ Guitars really did bad things to my head.
You should have bought. You should have bought that. I'm just going to put that out there. That was a one-off, mate. That guitar. That was beautiful. It was a vintage flying V with
Carina. Just beautiful. I love it. Compared to you know, the white ones or whatever, the Carina one, it was just pure Albert King, and I would dig it. But
yeah, I've been pretty lazy with those videos at the moment. I needed to shoot a couple of clips that I'm going to use within the videos.
Yeah,
I need to set my green screen up for that, and at the moment, I just haven't had the chance. Sometimes stuff turns up, and I'm like, I need to get through all of this before I do anything else. So,
can I just answer a question from Blues Boy, Kentucky? Sorry, mate. I set out to, you know, try and be attentive in these questions, and they just get away from me. But the question is from Blues Boy, Kentucky. Fender cleans, do you recommend a twin reverb, super reverb, or a Vibra King? I'm looking to buy. So thanks for your question, Blues Boy, Kentucky. You're in luck. I've actually owned all three of those amplifiers. Look, I think the super reverb covers just so much ground. It's a beautiful, clean sound. But then you just goose it up a bit more, it starts to break up and slam into the front with a tube screamer or a Klon or something, and it's just fantastic. The Vibra King is an awesome, clean amp. My gosh, it has to weigh probably 70 pounds, I would think. It was just a behemoth. I'd have to psych up to put it in my car and get it out of the car, and heaven help me if it never trolley. It was they're so brutally heavy, but and loud as all get out. But I would say out of those three, I would go either the super reverb or the twin reverb, the George Benson model, which do you remember we actually helped to sell that?
Yeah, that was great.
It was wild, man.
I thought Rick worked at the shop.
Yeah, he was flaming.
He goes, weren't you a doctor?
Profiling me. Yeah. But that was great. It had a great tone, and also with the neodymium speakers, I think it shaved off about 15 pounds off the weight of it. It was manageable. So if you come across a George Benson twin, they're in this sort of grey Tolex with a little George Benson insignia on the grill cloth, and that sounded awesome. We did a video of that too, Bluesball, Kentucky. If you want to, where did we put that video?
I think it's on the Sky. It could be on the Sky Music YouTube channel. I'm not too sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, what a tone! And I think that those are rated like 85 watts instead of 100 too.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that makes too much of a difference. But
yeah, I think it's like got a 65 twin reverb spec, but that was a great sound. So I would certainly I'd go for the twin or the super reverb, probably over the Vibra, just purely for the portability. You see Vibra Kings floating around now in the second-hand market for relatively reasonable prices compared to the ridiculous new price.
You know why? Because no one can lift them.
Yeah. Do you even lift, bro?
They're so heavy, man.
Yeah, it's heavy and awkward. And believe it or not, I used to have one of them and the matching 212 box. And I used it once at a gig, and I think we broke a few windows at the front. So that was the end of that. But yeah, beautiful sounding amp. If you've got a roadie, then I'd go for that. But I think super reverb you can't go wrong with, and twin reverb as well are both great for that classic Fender clean sound.
So Sam the Jam says, how is the Relic Harley Benton treating you? Planning on making a follow-up video. Would love to see the results. So the day after I did that, I ended up buying some stuff to stain the wood, and I did a live stream following it. So if you click back on that Relic video and then go to the cards that are up the top somewhere, you'll find a link to the follow-up live stream, and I'll show you it. I'll be able to, it was just I don't know how long the video went for. I can't remember, maybe 20 minutes or 30 minutes or something. But yeah, I stained the back of the neck and the rest of the body, and I added a few more marks to it and stuff. And I thought it came out pretty good in the end. Like the first day, everyone's like, oh, it just looks like you've sanded it. And I'm like, well, yeah, that was not finished, obviously. Like the second day was when I worked out. A lot of people were saying, "Hey, you need to try this. You need to try that." So I ended up buying this like chalk stuff. You know, put it on with gloves and a mask, and it just stained the wood. I wiped it clean, and you know, you saw that guitar in person in the end, did it? What did you think of it, Rick?
Oh, I thought it was really good. It didn't look sort of overdone. I mean, I've seen some absolutely shite fake relics that just look crap. They look just like a terrible accident. But I thought it was good, and it just felt natural. And that's a telly is. I love the telly. It's just dirt simple, and you know, it's just like a shovel with strings on it. So it just looked quite the part, and I thought the bits he did on the fingerboard especially looked good, and the back of the neck looked great, and yeah, I think it just made you play in a certain way as well. It's great. There's nothing wrong with it at all. I thought it was great.
And I've used it in a few follow-up videos, and people are saying, "Oh, where'd you get the Harley Benton Heavy Relic?" Because that's what I called it.
Yeah,
I'm like, I've just labeled it the Harley Benton Heavy Relic. It's funny because a few people that have got them sent me messages saying, "Hey, I'd love to try this. You know, thanks for the video."
Yeah.
Even I think one of the guys that works with Simeon, who sent the guitar out, said it's inspired him to give it a go as well.
Yeah.
I just said to him, use an electric sander on the back.
Yeah, exactly.
I was sore for a few days after that. It was brutal.
Yeah.
We're actually going a few minutes past the hour here, Rick. So do you want to go for another, say, 15 minutes or something and then wrap it up? Or
mate, I'm happy
how are you
to go.
for time?
I'm happy to go for as long as people are interested. And yeah, I just need to have a quick look and see if there's any other questions that I'm missing.
Here we go. Landon says, I'd say Vox had the most lame amp update ever at NAMM. Did you see it? They released an AC15 and AC30 with warehouse speakers. See, like warehouse, you know, I've tried a few of those.
They're the ones in the 2-Rock, aren't
they? Yeah, I think, yeah, they might make those ones, but the ET60s, which are supposedly very similar, I didn't like. But I don't know what they put in there either. That they might have good. The speakers might be louder now. I'm not too sure. The ones I had were really inefficient, and it rolled out way too much top end. But the same can't be said for that 2-Rock speaker, which is probably why it costs $800 for the cab.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm not too sure, but I haven't seen that, mate. I'll check it out.
Yeah. What's the speaker in the back of that AC30 with the single 12 that we love?
It's a Celestion, but I can't remember which one. I think it's called the. Hang on, I'll look it up. The AC30S1. It's got a. Let me have a look. Should say what speaker's in here, hopefully. It doesn't. It just says equipped with a single Celestion made 12-inch speaker, specially voiced for the AC30. So it's probably a rebranded 7080.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the way that works.
Special.
Yeah. We take a 7080 and we put a different sticker on it.
That's
Done.
Right.
There's another $100. No, I don't know.
It sounded good, mate. It sounds
it's
a great sounding amp. It's really, really cool.
Yeah. That's just for me though, like I love the Vox sound, but then I go off it. You know, and you play the 6L6s again and you go, yeah. And I guess now that like I've got that little Artist Tweed 20.
Yeah.
That's kind of along, you know, a similar lines to a Blues Junior or a Vox. It's not as mid-scooped as a Vox, but it's got that sort of chiminess about it. So
yeah, absolutely. I reckon I'd love to hear you and a telly and that Artist and maybe just that boost pedal from Grandchild.
Oh yeah,
I reckon that would be a great, and maybe a little delay for that slapback sound because tellies into Voxes, it's a beautiful thing, man.
Oh, it is.
I love Brad Paisley's tone, and that's predominantly tellies into L84 amplifiers, and it's a really good marriage made in heaven. I don't know how good the PRS would be, for example, but the telly into the Vox sound is
Yeah, it's a pretty special combo.
Oh, forever, man. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Can I answer a question from Zvolf Severson?
Yeah, just punch in anytime, man. Go for it.
Yeah. So why do some people say 15 watt amp are loud enough to gig with, and others say it isn't? Is it more to do with the speaker size and cab? Yeah, that's a really, really good question, Zvolf, and sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name. I think that the size of the cabinet does make a difference to maybe not the volume, but just the dispersal on stage. It can make it a bit bigger with a bigger cab. I think those real little, like a Blues Junior, I've never really been able to get a good sort of giggable tone out of that. Just for me, I just think keeping up with the drummer, just get your drummer to, play 4 on the floor and hit it out, and then start playing it. And it depends. Like if you've got a drummer who's got a light touch, then you probably get away with it, especially if you're in like a small little room. But I don't think I could gig with a Blues Junior without it being mic'd up and run through the system.
No, you're totally right. Remember when we used to play at Callie's? I had that gold Blues Junior, and how I had it cranked, and it wasn't even close. It struggled. It struggled so bad.
That was a great sounding amp, man.
It was all right at home.
Yeah, I like that. Hey, Jamal's just kicked in the top chat. What are you doing, mate?
Thanks, buddy.
Did your wife know? Man.
Thanks a lot, Jamal. Cheers, man.
He's too good. He's
awesome.
Are you at work, Jamal?
Oh no, it'd be Saturday. Oh, maybe not. Saturday night over there.
Yeah.
So,
all right. Well, thank you, Jamal. Yeah, always appreciate your encouragement and support. We've got to hear him play one time.
Yeah, I've been trying to encourage him to do some videos. I've been trying to encourage him to show off some of his guitar collection. He's got some really great stuff.
Yeah.
And he's giving me even more gas now for the Flying V. So he's a lefty as well.
Definitely. I think if we could find a lefty Carrera Flying V, mate, I would just pull out all stuff. Look, obviously play it, make sure it's all good. And look, certainly the buzz coming out of NAMM is that Gibson is back with a vengeance. They've got a new CEO and they're tuning out guitars. So
I'll just get a good Gibson, mate. I'll be fine.
Yeah.
Guitar Hack says, in the blues, let Dr. Ric know he's a great player. I love his playing. That's from Guitar Hack. So
Guitar Hack, you're too kind, mate. And I feel almost like a kindred spirit. We lived in Toronto back in 2007, and we've been back about 3 or 4 times, and absolutely love Toronto. It's a great place. I know it'll be absolutely freezing and snowing and whatnot. So hope you're well, brother. But appreciate your kind words, and we'll get back to Canada soon. I hope. I just love it over there.
Yeah, it's a beautiful place. I've only really been to Vancouver, and it was pretty cool.
Yeah, Vancouver is great. What do they say? Welcome to Vancouver. Go to Starbucks and climb a mountain. It's a beautiful, beautiful city.
Someone's fighting in the background, Rick. What's going on?
I don't know. I think there's some kids who slept over who are probably just waking up now. And we ordered 9 dozen donuts from Krispy Kreme, and there's about 4 left. So it's been a crazy old time here. So I'm very happy to be spending time with our beautiful subs, and while the house is just going to rack and ruin.
No worries. Let me just see if we've got any more questions here. Guitar Ray says, watched a few of the NAMM videos. Also lame, nothing exciting. Well, there's probably a million videos. I think the coolest thing about the NAMM is just seeing who's there in terms of professionals, and seeing if they do any actual playing, and watching that kind of stuff is usually pretty cool.
Yeah.
But like I said, I think there's gear overload in the world too. There's so many different brands and companies all doing very similar things. There's a couple of people that stand out, obviously, as well. But
yeah,
I think it's there is probably that's why I posted the poll on my channel regarding NAMM. Like, what do people think of it? Are they excited by it or meh? You know, and it's. Let me just go back to that because the results of that were pretty interesting. More people were interested in it than I've actually figured. So there's obviously a huge community of people that love watching those videos. But let me just find this. Over the last couple of weeks since the poll's been up, or maybe a week and a half, where is it? It kind of balanced itself out.
Yeah.
You know, like it was really close to 50-50, which surprised me. So yeah, I put a poll up. It says who's looking forward to the hundreds of NAMM videos this week. Do you sort of like that content? Yes, I love NAMM content. Got 51% of the vote.
No way.
Yeah, 51%. No, there's too much of it. So definitive no's is 10%. And I'll watch a few videos, but that's it. Got 40% of the votes.
Yeah.
So yeah, kind of between only watching a few videos.
Yeah. So can I just give a shout out to Six in Line, who's just done $10 to the super chat. Thank you so much.
Oh man.
It's a Shane V Fund or Doc and Shane Beer Fund. You know what? Doc and Shane Beer Fund requires $0.
Yeah.
But mate, thank you so much for your support. It's completely appreciated. And mate, as I've told all of our subs, mate, I do this for free because I love talking about guitars, and I just sort of can't imagine a life without them. So they've given me a lot more than I've given them as far as just, you know, the quality of life and enjoyment, and, you know, hanging out with mates and playing guitars and talking shit. So yeah, I couldn't be happier in a happier space in this situation.
You give back plenty, mate. All those guitar faces.
Oh no!
No, thanks again, Six in Line. I appreciate that, mate.
It's totally cool. Really cool. So it's grouse. Come on, I've got to find. I thought I saw a question before. Oops.
Did you see the SE Paul's guitar?
You know what? I did, and I got to admit, I'm kind of interested. And like we met Jean Nooney, who's the PRS sort of custom relations person at GigCon, and she's a sweet lady. I really enjoyed sort of talking with her and her passion, and she's been in the guitar industry for so many years. There's some great photos in her Facebook of back in the day. She must have been with Kramer, and they had obviously Eddie Van Halen and Richie Sambora, so she's certainly an industry veteran. But can we say stuff? Yeah, honestly, I can't watch videos with Paul Reed Smith in them.
Yeah, go for it, man. Yeah. I thought you liked the way that he twiddles everybody's amp knobs while they play.
Yeah, he's the king of the reach around. But no, I can't handle it. I can't watch interviews. I'm not sure. It's horses for courses. There's lots and lots of people love him. And gosh, you and I own guitars, mate.
Oh, it doesn't take away from the quality of the instruments.
No, it doesn't. No. And look, his obsession with the tiny little stuff, like, you know, the scale length of the 594 is 24.594 inches, and for him it makes a difference. But I just can't watch the videos. But that notwithstanding, the PRS SE line is great. The quality is awesome. And if he's
dropped my headphones.
Oh,
dropped my headphones. Sorry.
No good. But I'd be interested in that guitar. I'd love to have a play of it. I just really like what PRS does with splitting humbuckers to get usable single coil sounds. It's always, for me, been a compromise. You either get a great single coil and a crap sounding humbucker, or vice versa. But I just think the way they've whatever they've done is streets ahead, and that's why the 594 has sort of been the one that stuck in my head after GigCon. I loved it.
Just get the Harley Benton, mate. You'll be fine. Hey, just quickly, just a quick shout out. David Melbourne here says he used the super chat. He said, when is Dr. Ric putting out a dance video? So we'll get that sorted out. And HK also used the super chat as well. Far out, guys. Thank you so much.
Completely appreciate it.
Yeah, you don't have to do this, but we do appreciate it. So thank you. That's is that pounds? I always get you. Yeah, it's pounds. That's the pounds symbol. So far out. Thanks, man.
Thank you so much, HK.
If you got any questions, mate, I'll try and keep an eye on it here. And yeah, happy to answer any. We're both looking at the chat, but we are missing stuff. So
yeah. So look, there's people saying that Porridge Smith is very unusual. I think that's entirely. I mean, gosh, people say I'm unusual, and that's fine. But
I see. You know what I see a lot of. I see Porridge Smith as the Steve Jobs of the guitar industry. I don't think that's true. I get it because maybe they're similar in their mannerisms or something, possibly. But in terms of Apple's, what's that term where something shifts completely and you all of a sudden you've invented something that nobody else has ever had.
Yeah, like a quantum shift or something.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I don't see that from PRS. I see that from Apple. And I mean, before Apple's iPhone, the original one, there wasn't anything like it, right? Yeah. It wasn't like they copied that from someone else. I'm not saying he copied his guitar designs from other people. I'm just saying that's a huge shift in people's the way that the devices have shaped lives or changed lives for the good or bad, right? But
yeah,
I get why people say that, but I don't think it's the same impact. I'm just putting that out there from my own sort of perspective.
Yeah.
I see that as two very different things. Like Apple have done a couple of things that were invented that weren't out ever. Maybe they took something and modified it, I guess, because there were phones, but there wasn't the whole portable computer, in something that looks like this.
Yeah.
And I think that's maybe they're more. Maybe whoever the CEO of Samsung is, maybe that's the Paul Reed Smith. I don't know.
Yeah, I'll tell you the way I took that comment is that they're both eccentric, they're both possibly narcissistic.
Okay.
And arrogant. I mean, I read the Steve Jobs unauthorized biography, and mate, absolutely. Look, I'm talking to you on a Mac. I've got one of these.
Yeah.
But
you're a shill for Apple, mate.
I am a shill for Apple, absolutely. But the guy sounded like a douchebag. Sorry, that's terrible. And I'll probably appear on some blacklist somewhere, or they'll crash my Mac or whatever. But it certainly sounded like he was a pretty sort of difficult bloke to deal with and to work for. And there's even that guy that he started the company with, didn't he? Sort of shaft him and so I think possibly great products, but being in the same room with them could make you just want to check out because look, and obviously so many of the absolute geniuses in history were deeply flawed people, but I mean, if you read stuff about Albert Einstein, Google the contract that he gave his wife, and if you want to stay married to me, this is what you got to do. And this is like, don't talk to me, just bring me my meals in my study, clean up after me, don't hassle me, all that sort of stuff. And so with a great mind, you get all this sort of. I mean, look at me. My wife's a professor, and she's a totally weird unit. So, especially her taste in men. But, I think that's when I think about the Steve Jobs, I don't think so much about the products and all that sort of stuff. I think about the sort of person. And
they say a lot of guys that, sorry to cut you off, they say a lot of successful people have the same characteristics as like serial killers, but they they lack empathy. They lack certain things that makes them successful, like these things that might bother regular people. They don't care. They're just like, I'm going this way. Don't
That's
distract
right.
me.
I don't care about the optics. I don't care about how it looks. I don't care how people perceive me. Yeah, I get that, but
You're a bit like that too, mate. You wear Crocs every day of the year.
I do. I get Crocs and I'm drowning in pussy. No, sorry.
Oh,
no.
man. HK just used the far out. What's going on today, guys? What's going on? So he says, like the boys whose football it is in the park.
Like the boy whose football is in the park.
I'm not sure what that was. In relation
to is that code for the Apple police to come around and knock my block off? Could be, which is fair enough. But I mean, look, you know, people could criticise us and say, "Man, you're happy to use their stuff," but then you talk shit about them and you've never ever met them, and that's so true. But yeah, certainly what I have seen, yeah, I'm certainly not. I'm not crawling over myself to meet Paul and have him tweak my knobs.
But thanks again for the super chat, mate. Yeah, that's insane. Actually, we've got another one from Todd, which I don't know if I don't think we addressed this one. So Todd, I apologize. It might have just come through after HK's. I see him in a different location on my screen here. So I don't know whose orders what, but he says, check out Cheddar's NAM walkthrough, best video. I think it's in NAM. Great channel, boys, as always. Thanks, Todd. I appreciate that. I'm subbed to Cheddar's YouTube channel, so I'll check that out for sure. I wanted to see it. One video that just showed me around, and that sounds like it's the one. I did see it pop up in the feed this morning, actually, but I was like laying there just going, oh, get out of bed. So I was going to try and hit the gym this morning before it got too hot. Now I'm going to have to go with once it's probably 40 degrees outside, but I'll check out his video tonight.
Yeah.
So thanks for that.
I think, you know, if in a parallel universe, if I went to NAM, I think I'd be extremely targeted. Just off the top of my head, I would go to the Morgan amps booth because I love those amps. I don't know why I sold mine because I'm an idiot. Mm-hmm. And I would go to Fender because I'm a shill for Fender. And I'd go to Vemmer because I'm a snob. I reckon I'd probably have about 6 or 8 things, and all the rest can go Whistle Dixie because I think that's the only way I could survive. It'd be targeted, get in and out, and not hang around for ages and catch social diseases from guitars and people.
And you'd be stopped every 15 steps like at the Melbourne Guitar Show. Everybody knows Rick. It's hilarious.
Yeah, I've got one of those faces that unfortunately people can't forget. It's kind of burned into their consciousness from all those terrible guitar face videos. But yeah, certainly that's what I'd do. I'd just be targeted. But mate, I don't think there's any chance that I'll be going. It just looks too overwhelming and massive and American. And Mike was saying that Mike Bradley was saying you just couldn't get any decent food. He said, I just wanted to get home and eat a carrot. So
yeah. Be all fried. It'd be all fried like football stadium type of crap, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But look, you know, very happy that there are lots of other YouTubers who go there and make videos for us. They take one for the team and upload them, and we don't have to go there and put up with all the crowds and the lines.
Well, they're in a bunch of sweaty men. We can enjoy the summer day.
Exactly. I think that's how I described the main hall at GitCon, didn't I? Just full of men and smells of balls. But I'm very happy to have other people going along and sorting stuff out. So thanks, Cheds. I'll definitely.
Hey, Ched is here. There we go.
Are you serious?
Yeah, that comment was from someone else, but yeah, he's here. I don't know how long he's been hanging around, but welcome, mate. Thanks for the shout out. Just rolled in. I guess obviously now he's just. Hey, Eric Clapton's here.
What?
There we go. He joined the other day as well.
Eric Clapton. Well, yeah. I got a bone to pick with Eric Clapton. That concert that I went to years ago, and I paid up like $400 for the ticket, and I was in the nosebleed section, and he didn't once say hi to Dr. Ric. Well, I'm kind of upset about that, man.
Did you see my live stream the other day? That's funny you mentioned that because that was the show that like scarred me for like years. I couldn't listen to him for a long time after that show. I did not enjoy it.
Yeah, I think I felt like he treated us with contempt.
Yeah.
Highlights of the show: Willie Weeks, Steve Jordan,
Yeah.
rhythm section, heaven, awesome. Derek, love Derek. Highlights of the show also seeing Doyle Bramwell's tonsils when he yawns really big, because he yawned every other song, and again looked like he didn't want to be there. I know that, you know, touring is tiring and all that sort of stuff, but I really reckon you got a responsibility to give us a show.
And the only other thing that I said and we haven't spoken about this over the phone since my last live stream last week. I said exactly what you just said, and I wished he had played more at the show. Yeah. I just wanted to hear more guitar songs for him. You know. Yeah. I thought the song choice was pretty poor, given what some of it was okay, but anyway, no. I had a lot of expectations being such a huge fan. I had all of his albums, tried to shape my sound and tone and feel by listening to the guy play. So it's just a bit of a letdown. But
it is, isn't it? You know, they say careful when you meet your idols, and we didn't meet him, but we're in the same room, and it feels amazing to breathe the same air of a guy that really, you know, no Clapton, you get, gosh, blues guitar, electric rock guitar, he just revolutionised it. I mean, Eddie Van Halen, gosh, you know, Eric Clapton was a huge influence on him. And, to be there in the room with a guy that obviously didn't know where he was, didn't really care, and just went through the motions. Thank goodness he had that rhythm section that was awesome.
Yeah. Because I paid for second row seats. I was right. Second row, right.
How much was that?
Is a lot of money. No, it was like either close or over $800 for two of us.
Get lost.
Yeah, it might have been more. I can't. It was somewhere around there. It was really expensive. Yeah. It's funny because I mentioned this on my live stream the other day. The guitar players, the consensus was, at least from my friends who can play that went, they didn't like the show, right? And the guitar players who were not maybe quite as competent, or people who didn't play guitar, loved it. So there's something to be said for that, right? I don't know. There was that, you know, my girlfriend at the time, I remember she elbowed me and she said, I think you can play better than this guy. And that was, I was like, oh, I don't want to hear that. I probably can't either, right? I'm just saying, she wasn't impressed by not Eric, right? This was someone else who was playing some guitar as well. And obviously, anyway, she was not impressed with Doyle at all that night. It was like, he looked bored. He looked bored.
Absolutely, yeah. I hope she elbowed you again and said, come on, let's check out, go to a hotel. At least it would have been a good night.
Yeah. It wasn't good. And I'd flown, I did mention this too, so I don't want to repeat it too much, but I flew overseas one year to Michigan, and I think 2001 or 2 or something like that. I can't remember the exact year. It might have been 3. It was somewhere around that period. And I knew he was going to be playing there. And I said to my friend Kyle, we'll go see him when he comes out. He goes, oh, I think that show's not on. I'm like, oh, are you serious? So I waited 6 more years after that to try to see him. And anyway, he ended up doing some Queen's birthday or Queen's, something back.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, the big Jubilee thing.
Yeah. So he didn't do that tour. So it wasn't like he committed to it, but I heard from his scheduling that's where he was supposed to be that time of year. I was like, oh, this is going to work out perfect, but it didn't work out at all.
Oh, so
anyway, so the hype was, it was a 7-year sort of anxiousness to go see the show. But anyway, that kind of stuff can happen.
Yeah. Look, for sure. I think I went and saw a John Mayer show. Well, I've seen him a couple of times. I saw the Battle Studies show, and that was fantastic. It was awesome. But then I saw a show one after that, and absolutely, he just phoned it in, and it was just rubbish. And I think went home early. Wow. And look, I don't know. Are our expectations just unrealistic that every show that you see is going to be a great show?
You know what it is? You know, I know exactly why this is the case. If I see you play or anybody play on a DVD and I watch it and I study like that show that Dire Straits put together on the night, right?
Yeah,
like
yeah,
arguably one of the best live shows of all time. I friggin' love that show.
Yeah.
That sets the expectation that every show is going to be like that, or that Eric Clapton's Live in Hyde Park is going to be, every show is going to be like that.
Yeah.
You know, into that caliber with the same vibe. And, you know, it's funny when you're there and you don't have the multiple camera angles and you're just sort of sitting there. It's a completely different experience to watching it, like with, you know, all these different camera angles and the lights and the editing and the, probably the audio production and all of that kind of stuff. So, yeah, I think the expectation gets set really high through DVDs back in the day. And then also a lot of the live clips that are posted, you get sections of stuff and you think, oh, wow, like every show is going to be this crazy. And I don't know if it's like, for those of you in the chat from Australia too, I think Australian audiences are pretty reserved compared to some places around the world. I would say that would be accurate too. So, and we're very obviously, what's the word I'm looking for? Like brutally honest when we see stuff we like or don't like.
Yeah.
And there wasn't that energy in the room. But when we saw Buddy Guy and when I saw James Brown, man, it wasn't even close. You know, it wasn't even close. Like both of those guys just killed it. They wanted to be there. They had the vibe. They had the room. Everybody was into it. To do that to an Australian audience is a huge thing.
Yeah, totally. Mate, the super chat's going nuts again. Todd Flowers, thanks, mate.
Oh,
thanks
man.
always. And Cheddar, you're a maniac.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Tedeschi Trucks Band. Yeah, look, I would love to go and see them because I've got a bit of a crush on Susan Tedeschi, I've got to tell you.
I thought you were going to say Derek Trucks, mate. I was going to go.
Well, you know what? We've got to say in Australia, I wouldn't kick him out of bed if he farted, but certainly. Yeah, Susan's got this lovely sort of raspy voice, and
yeah, it's very soothing.
It's beautiful, and that's great. So yeah, Cheddar absolutely up there, and Todd, thanks, mate. Always appreciate your input and support. Thanks, mate.
If we go playing tonight, Rick, I'll buy you a beer, mate, or not a beer, but something that you'll enjoy, a Coke Zero or something.
Yeah. Buy me some fruity little mixer.
Thanks, guys.
Canadian $3.27. You're a brilliant dude, mate. That's great. That's about 15 Australian bucks, I'll have you know. But
thanks, mate. That's funny.
No, that's really funny. I love your stop animation videos. They're just hysterical, man. What was the amp shitting out? Effect pedals or something. It was very, very funny. I just think, obviously in the winter in Canada, there's nothing much to do but smoke dope and make funny stop animation videos. So I loved it. It was awesome.
Yeah, he also, I think, started a second stop motion channel as well. He's really good at that stuff. Actually, Landon's videos now, he's sort of crafted his personality into his videos completely now. I enjoy watching a lot of those.
Yeah.
They're it's humorous. He's got a good sense of humor, and it kind of sort of dry, sort of sarcastic humor, and it translates well. It's good.
Oh, that's great.
He did I don't know if you saw it, but he did a video on, the pop-up. Oh, what are they called? Not the pop-up blockers, the pop filter. What are they called for stopping feedback? The feedback busters for acoustic guitar. Did you see that video?
No.
There's like 5 uses for it or whatever. He's like eating cereal out of it. And, oh, man. It's, I shared that on my feed. I thought that was great.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hugh Caldwell says, I saw Dire Straits 2 days before on the night DVD concert at the Glasgow. I'm not sure what that word is after it. Sorry. Amazing, he says. I wouldn't disagree. I think a lot of that tour would have been one of their best.
Yeah.
That was so tidy, man. Just
and
really.
They had this great pedal steel guy called Paul Franklin.
Oh, he's unreal.
Far out, man. That guy. I mean, I always think, pedal steel just always makes me think about the swamp and about inbreeding. But the way he plays is just phenomenal, and it just blows my mind.
I love
awesome.
good pedal steel. I'm a big fan, and it adds a certain vibe to the song that just isn't there.
Oh,
you know,
totally. It's such a sophisticated sound, isn't it? Where you can just shift a few notes within the chord, and it sort of segs so smooth into a new chord, and there's a subtle vibrato, and it's a beautiful steel. I think that's why we like tellies, because it's got that steely sound that's not shrill, but it sounds like steel and wood and fret and.
Oh, your sounds shrill, Rick. Don't worry about that. You got plenty of shrill.
Good. I like to reach out and hurt people, but
that's why I hired that guy on that last album, man. That pedal steel player from Michigan.
So good, and
it's like, oh, the song sounds amazing. Just add it in there.
It just takes it from a good song to something that's really great. So it's so good, really, really, really good.
Jamal says, you keep this up and you'll be able to afford the Flying V. Thanks.
Well, mate, look, put it away. But seriously, I would think, just like the Strat, I'm really happy with my Strat, and I don't really look for them. I just think a V is just something that if it sounded really awesome and had that great tone and was beautifully built, then it would be an absolute no-brainer, mate.
Oh, no, I totally agree. I mean, like, I think most people who watch this channel know I'm a huge Albert King fan.
Yeah.
Michael Burke's another guy that I just think was phenomenal as well. Yeah, it's funny, like the one I had back in the day was the only lefty I could find, and it had this really sort of unfinished sort of neck. It was all textured and weird and really sticky as well. And that was back before. It wasn't like it was sticky from like something that was on there. It was just the finish wasn't. You get a little bit of heat on your hand. You just couldn't slide around. I didn't know I could sand the necks on guitars or any of that sort of stuff. So, I didn't really want to butcher a Gibson either. Like, I didn't know enough about it to really want to do that. But the tone of that guitar was so good. It was so much better than my 335, which I got not long after that.
Yeah.
For that particular model, that 2008 335 I had was horrible.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Flying V sounded great. So I'm looking forward to trying them out when they get them in. I know there's going to be a few floating around at some point in Melbourne, so I'll keep an ear to the ground. And
yeah, no, absolutely. For sure. Sorry, I just saw a Guitar Ray said McCartney was expensive, but a great concert. Paul McCartney's band, I mean, far out. Just absolutely fantastic. Got Abe Laboriel Jr. on the drums, and a guy called Brian Ray who plays guitar and bass. He plays bass if Paul's playing guitar, and this other guy called Rusty Anderson. He's just got this hot band, and they can all sing. And probably the only guy who can't sing is Paul, but that's just.
Oh, really? Is he no good anymore? Or?
Oh, look, yeah, I just think his voice is blown out, and but again, if you know the songs, you don't really care. But certainly, this. I think his larynx is just rooted. But
I think going to see someone like that would be more about just seeing someone like that.
Totally.
Someone as iconic in the industry or whatever.
Yeah, definitely.
Grew up listening to the songs. And
I mean, he goes hard. Like, a few of my mates have been to a few of his gigs, and he doesn't phone it in. He really gives you value. I think that's just what we want. We want to see guys who are still passionate about what they're doing. And if you lose that passion, maybe you should think about doing something else.
Cheddar just mentioned on the topic of the Flying V. Sorry, he said Gibson said they're trying to source Carina to do proper Carina Flying Vs and Explorers as well. Well, there we go. Rick, you're in. Sell one of those tallies, mate, and there you go. You'll be sorted. We'll be both be like. Actually, a Flying V looked good on you because you're a much bigger guy than me.
Yeah.
That's the one thing that kind of puts me off buying a V is the fact I'm a short ass.
Yeah. Well, no, you just have to. I mean, there's no other way. You can't sit down playing those. It's bizarre. But I haven't reached out to Stefan at MJ Guitars, and if someone tells me if I do and it's still there, that could be really dangerous for me. I love that guitar. I really did love it. The tone of it was great. How good was the tone?
It was awesome. I was trying to find a photo here of my old Flying V back when I had hair. I did some like photos of like for the band posters back in the day, and I had a V. I'll see if I can. I'll see if I can find it because it's pretty hilarious.
I think it was it slightly red?
Yeah.
It looked cool.
I did share it at one point on my feed on YouTube ages ago, but oh yeah, it might be this folder. Let me have a look. Yeah, I'll see if I can find it. I'll repost it because it was a really nice guitar, visually and tone wise. But I couldn't get around the neck. The way that it felt was just super sticky in the hand, and it wasn't quite. I couldn't get into it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, just got a comment here from Mel O'Brien. Saw Clapton with Cream in Toronto. Wow. Saw him with Blind Faith. Saw him with Bonnie and Delaney. Roger Waters. That geriatric Layla finished to me. Absolutely, that Layla was terrible. On the Unplugged album.
Oh, sorry, which one?
You know, the Layla version on the Unplugged album.
You don't like that?
Layla, you got me on my knees, saying money now. It was just compared to the original. No, I did not like that at all. I had zero love for that.
I tell you what, look up. You see the version he did of that with, I think, Dr. John.
No,
there's a version of that floating around on YouTube. Yeah, check that out. And he does another song with him, which is great, called St. James Infirmary, which is a really great blues. Yeah. Him and Dr. John are killing it. But I didn't mind that version of Layla.
Really?
All right. Yeah. Like, I guess for me though, I think I heard Unplugged before I heard a lot of the original Eric Clapton stuff.
Yeah.
So I kind of was introduced it sort of backwards into that music. I remember actually hearing the Unplugged album long before I remember sort of who it was. I was thinking about that. I was like, oh, I know some of these songs, but like, where did I hear it? I used to hear it in the car. So anyway, So
I'm not dissing the whole Unplugged album. Like, I love things like San Francisco Bay Blues and Alberta, and all that sort of stuff. There's some cool stuff on it, but Layla was just like, it just sounded like the corporate suits at the record company said, "Hey, Eric, you want to put Layla on?" And that's it was just, for me, just a cynical sort of extra grab for cash.
One of the best songs that never made that album was that The Circus Has Left Town song, I think it's called, or something like that. I don't know if you've ever heard that. It's sort of like on the unreleased version of, or maybe there's all this stuff's on YouTube anyway, but Circus Left Town, just type that in Unplugged.
Yeah.
That's a great tune. I'm surprised that sort of didn't make it onto that live session. But the interesting thing about that, they did some of the songs more than once. You think it would be just like a show. They're like, oh, what? Yeah, but no, we're going to try that again. So they start again. They did it a few times. So it's these little editing tricks. You think it's going to be like one show in its entirety, but it isn't like that.
Oh, it's cool, mate. The check's going a bit off here. It's great. I like how people sort of talk amongst themselves, or just bullshit on about something.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
No, I think most of the people in like, I know when I'm on other live streams, it's the same thing. Like, everybody knows each other from the other live streams, or from just the community overall here is pretty cool.
Fantastic, mate. Pork Chop SRV says, check out Robert Randolph. Man, that guy is a maniac.
Yeah,
he's severe, like pedal steel, but put through a big raging Marshall or whatever. And yeah, that's awesome. Like, it's like a family band, isn't it?
He's the Hendrix of the pedal steel. He makes it cool.
Oh, he does. I saw him on one of those Crossroads festivals, and it was like, what? I really dug it. So, mate, Pork Chop SLV, I'm right there with you, pal. I think he's something special. I haven't seen him much lately, but it was a severe sound. It was just rock and roll, but on a steel. Who'd have thought it?
No, totally. Yeah, it's a rockin' tone.
Yeah.
it looks so complicated of an instrument to play too. You know, like it's
Oh yeah,
there's a lot going on. Hey, we're pulling up to the 2 hour mark, man. This is flying by. So
yeah, it is,
I think
mate.
at the 2 hour mark, we've got about 5 minutes left. If anyone has any last questions, feel free to let us know. But otherwise, I'm going to have to start using the bottle down here for for other reasons.
I just get one of them clothes peg thing, mate. That's cool. or tie a knot in it, or just do something. Come on. I'm just hitting the. I can't believe is it 2 hours? Are you serious?
Yeah. We started at 11, so yeah, it's only 1 p.m. Far out. I mean, look, it's up to you, man. But 2 hours seems like a healthy chunk of time. So.
I'm happy, but look, I really appreciate all you guys tuning in, and I wanted to do this because I feel like when we do the bigger ones, that the questions just sort of fly past, and you know, I really like to have a look at it and see what people are into, and trying to answer their questions and all that sort of stuff. So I'm really happy with, I think, how today's been, and I'm sorry for questions that I've missed. But I just think this is a more efficient way of dealing with stuff that we want to talk about.
Yeah, absolutely. Landon's just posted a link too, saying there's a lot of isolated guitar tracks from the Layla album. So you can click that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So you can hear, because they recorded it on like little Tweed Champs. So it was him and Dwayne Allman.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Eric was maybe in his 30s when they recorded that. And some of that stuff is just the most brilliant guitar playing and songwriting that you'll ever hear. It's so cool. And I love that, yeah, on YouTube now you can hear the isolated tracks and hear what they were doing. And I know Eric was totally intimidated by Dwayne's slide playing, and yeah, just to get those two in a room, and I'm sure there were copious amounts of alcohol and drugs there, but
no, not for Clapton, mate. He was a straight shooter.
Yeah, straight shoot up. But yeah, certainly. I mean, I can't play if I've had a couple of drinks. I just can't do it. But I'm so grateful that we have these amazing recordings that will last forever of capturing two guys at the absolute peak of their game, pushing each other to to better performance and all that sort of stuff. So
I got a new challenge video for us, Ric.
Yeah,
for you at least. Anyway, I'll come and get you tonight. We'll go play. We'll call it the 5-shot challenge. So we'll give you 30 minutes to down 5 shots, and then I'll film how well you play.
Well, as long as you hold my hair back while I chunder. But yeah, that's.
I'll buy you a kebab on the way up. You'll be fine.
Yeah. Well, I mean, a serious thing we've got to think about tonight is if there's going to be a bloody bushfire on the mountain, because it's so hot and blowy that I think I'd be a bit anxious about going up there, because there's only one. Well, no, there's 2 roads up and 2 roads down, but knowing my luck, I'd drive straight into the barbecue. So we'll probably just have to be careful about that. That's me with my old man hat on. But
you'll be fine, mate.
Yeah, absolutely. Mel O'Brien, the Blues Breakers album was excellent. Absolutely, the Beano album. Wow, that you got that, haven't you, Shane?
I don't have it. No.
Oh, but you play Stepping Out off it, so you know.
Yeah, I know of the songs. I've got a weird, like, it's not a best of blues album, but it's got some of those songs on there as well. So
yeah,
I think it's like an Eric Clapton mixed with Jimi Hendrix album. So there's songs from both of those guys playing a lot of guitar songs. That's where I ended up with Stepping Out.
Yeah, it's really great.
John Roberts.
When are you guys coming to Perth, mate? I'm going to be in Perth really soon, mate. My daughter's starting at Whopper, so we had a big party last night for her, and so I'm going to be in Perth a bit, mate. So I'd love to reach out to you. I see a lot of great guitars on Gumtree coming from Perth, so there must be a bit of a scene over there.
Yeah. I wonder. I haven't been to Perth for years. I remember I'm probably when I was 16 was the last time I was over there.
Yeah.
So
it's probably beautiful. It's
yeah,
just,
it is.
You know, it's still like a big old country town. You know, it's the most isolated capital city in the world, they say. But it's beautiful, and the beaches are beautiful, and the Swan River and all that. We've got some good friends over there who live in Subiaco, and look, it's a hell of a way, but yeah, I'm looking forward to being there a bit more often, guitarist. So I'd love to meet you there, and you can show me some of the haunts, because it looks like there's some absolutely beautiful guitars over there.
All right, well, we might wrap it up. We've just hit the 2-hour mark, so thanks, Ric, for hanging out. And I want to thank everybody for being a part of the live stream. Thanks for all the super chats too, guys. That's crazy. So thank you so much.
It's really cool. Appreciate your support, and it makes us yeah, just want to give back, and yeah, I love being involved with this channel. It's a great community, and these sorts of channels don't happen by accident. They don't happen overnight. It just takes lots of hard work and commitment. So I'm very happy to be a part of it.
No worries. And yeah, thanks. If you feel the urge to drop a thumbs up on the way out, please let us know. If we missed your question, feel free to just re-ask it once the stream's processed and all that kind of stuff. And one of us will get back to you. Ric checks the comments too.
If I've got admin on this,
you should. If you type in the chat, see what happens. Just type a letter.
Okay.
You should have it. All right. It's oh well, I don't know. I'll look. I did make you an admin, so you should be right, I think. But anyway, yeah, you are. You've got it. You got the blue thing.
No worries. What?
Matty K.
Matty K, you dude.
Right as we're on our way out, but yeah, thanks again, Matty. Matty K is awesome.
Matty K, have you got a question for us, Matty? You've got to get something for your money. I went out to dinner and I came back. Oh, fuck.
He just is a generous guy. I sometimes put his much like some of the other guys. Yeah, we were going to go for 60. I said to Ric before we started, we'll go about an hour. That should be enough. And it flew by. Like I looked up, we were like 1 hour and 20 minutes. I couldn't believe it.
Man, that's crazy.
Yeah. Anyway, guys, thank you again. Thanks to Matty K. Thanks to everybody who used the super chat. Thanks for just being a part of the live stream, the channel, the community. We have some. Well, there's more videos coming up, so stay tuned for those. And yeah. we do appreciate it.
Yeah, Matty K asked the question about the desert island guitar. There you go. So it was 2 hours ago. He's gone out and eaten a side of beef and some apple pie and cream or some pecan pie, and he's come back. Yes, desert island guitar. Both of us Telecaster. So
yeah, easy,
crazy stuff. Thanks for tuning in, guys, and thanks Shane for putting this up.
Hey, no worries, no worries. All right, guys, take care, and yeah, we'll catch you on the next one.
Adios.